Yeah, say Senator Peralta, and then we have a statement from the Borough President, Melinda Kratz.
Thank you. As you can see, I want to first thank Councilman Orridge, Councilman Crowley, Senator Adabo, Senator Avella. This is a bipartisan issue. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is a homeless issue. So I want to thank them for putting this together. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not here in any way, shape, or form to criticize or attack the homeless population and all of the vulnerable families that are really trying hard to make ends meet because of a lack of a salary or circumstances in their lives that forced them to face this harsh reality. Because I've said it time and time again, in New York City, many of us are a paycheck or two away from being homeless ourselves. But I'm here to express my frustrations on the process of opening up a homeless shelter or housing the homeless in hotel rooms without community notification and the history of lack of communication by this administration that I'm hopeful will change. Ladies and gentlemen, unequivocally, New York City is facing a growing emergency, and we want to be part of the solution, but it takes two to tango. Simply put, ladies and gentlemen, we have a homeless crisis. A crisis that needs to be addressed by improving the administration's process and communication levels with elected officials, with community boards, with community advocates, and community residents across the city of ours. Many people want to help and defuse the growing epidemic, but we need to have a seat at the table. We need transparency. We need to be heard. We need access to information, and most of all, we need the political will of this administration to not have the knee-jerk reaction of shoving shelters down our throats.
Amen.
And giving us very limited notice or notification that would understandably lead to a negative reaction. Because for every action, there's a reaction. And what we need here is a positive one. Now, of course, there'll be those that say, not in my backyard. But for the most part, we are New Yorkers. And New Yorkers always try to extend a helping hand to those in need, especially families and children. But not when it seems like it's being forced upon us. One thing I know for sure is that New Yorkers can tolerate many things, but we can't and we won't tolerate having something being forced on us. Now that's unacceptable. Warehousing homeless people is not a solution. Converting hotel rooms into homeless shelters is also not the answer. Now I have a lot of respect for Commissioner Banks, who has been a homeless advocate for decades and really believes in helping the homeless. And I also know that he's facing an uphill battle with the increasing rise of homelessness that seems to have no end in sight. But again, communication is key. Again, community input is key. One size does not fit all. And we need to look at unique and creative ways of dealing with the issue based on neighborhoods and resources available to the areas that will lead to getting people back on their feet, which is the ultimate goal. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we want to do. We want to help these homeless individuals get back on their feet. There are programs that exist. Assemblymember Hevesy has legislative priority and legislation that will help this matter in terms of ensuring that people do not get thrown out of their homes in the first place. Senator Klein has legislation that I'm a co-sponsor of that talks about notification and advising the community before any of this happens. The governor has talked about putting financial resources behind the homeless situation. We are here together as elected officials, as community, to send a loud message. We want to be part of the process. That's all we're asking for. We want transparency. We want communication. But when you get a homeless shelter and you get informed the week before, that is unacceptable. I'll give you one example. I had a hotel, it was called the Clarion in East Elmhurst, June 2015. I get a call from reporters asking me, what are your thoughts on the Clarion being converted to a homeless shelter? I said, I have no comment at the time. Let me call you back. I called DHS. They tell me, no, the answer is no. I don't know where you're hearing that from. It's a rumor. Well, 2 months later, that no turned into a yes. And that hotel, the Clarion, turned into the Landing homeless shelter. The community was in uproar because here we were told no, and then 2 months later, it was converted into a homeless shelter. And we were told, by the way, it's going to happen within a week. So what are we supposed to do? Should we trust DHS?
No.
We want to extend an olive branch to this administration. You know what the issues are. You know what the problem is. We want to be helpful. Listen to us. Allow us to have a place at the table because we represent the people that are behind us. We represent the people that are not here. You know, people like to make videos. People like to talk about how this may be something where it's not in my backyard, or this may be a racist issue. Well, I represent homeowners that are African Americans, Latinos, and South Asians. And they don't want a homeless shelter in their backyard. But here's the thing. They're willing to sit down with the administration and say, how can we make this work?
Yeah.
How can we make this work, but allow us to be part of the solution? And that's the issue here. There is a lack of process and a lack of communication, and that's what we want to stop. We want that to improve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.